The last time we spoke to you, Dave Roberts said that you chose not to throw as much during the period of time from spring training to summer camp. What was the reason for that?
Just uncertainty in the schedule, and they took off playing catch for a week. So, not that big a deal. Just kind of trying to build up again, and I should throw 3 or 4 innings tomorrow. So, we're close.
Is it anything injury related or body not feeling right?
No, just when you walk into a pandemic and don't know what you're gonna have on the other side of it, I decided to take a week off, and it wasn't like I went rogue. We had some conversations, and got back on the current program and things like that. So I feel good and ready to go.
Thank you.
Next question is from Alana Rizzo. Go ahead, Alana.
Walker, with the way that things are lining up, if you do go those 3 or 4 innings, it looks like you'll probably start that first game in Houston. What would that mean to you just to get going and obviously against that particular opponent?
Yeah, I think there's a few things that go into it. Obviously, the first game back and, our first road game and first game back against Houston. So, it's exciting. I don't really care what game I throw or who it's against, but, that one should be a good one, but we got 4 before that.
How has this period of getting ready in a pandemic to prepare for a season that's 60 games affected you mentally and physically?
I think obviously it's kind of affecting everyone and a tough situation for everyone, and including us. I think a lot of people are having a lot bigger problems with this than us, but at the end of the day, we all are on the same time frame and trying to get ready, and down here a little while trying to get there, and I feel good about where I'm at.
Are you a proponent of the wet rag since you guys aren't supposed to go to your fingers anymore? How will you assist getting a grip on the baseball?
Yeah, I don't think the wet rag will be a thing for me. I don't really lick my fingers much, so I don't think I will use it. I think it's going to be tough for guys to mentally switch to not lick their fingers or anything like that. So we'll see how strict they are with that or stringent they are early, and but I think it's a decent alternative for those guys.
Lastly, for me, Walker, how do your pitches feel right now as far as repeatability, delivery, mechanics?
I feel good. Got to face hitters and felt okay about that the other day. We're getting there. It's a building process, and I think everyone goes through it. I just happen to be an inning or 2 behind. So hopefully game 1 will be ready to go and make a good start.
Okay, thank you.
Next question is from JP Hornstra. Go ahead, JP.
Hey, Walker, just between your own self-evaluation and what you've heard from Dave, Mark, anybody, what is like a realistic target innings-wise for you in that first start?
I think a lot of it depends on how clean I can get through it, or not running into pitch count and things like that. I think to be honest with you, I'd love to have a number, but I think until I throw tomorrow and kind of see how we bounce and get into that game, I don't know if we're really going to have a true estimate. I want to go out and win baseball games and contribute, and whether that's 4 innings or whether it's 9, it doesn't matter to me. I just want us to win. So, I think based on tomorrow, we'll know a little bit more.
Walker, I have seen a lot of preseason awards picks with you as the NL Cy Young Award winner. I know that you guys have bigger goals than that, but how would it feel to be awarded with the top award a pitcher can get in a season of this length?
It doesn't matter to me, to be honest with you. I think that's more that rewards consistency over 162, and I don't want to diminish that award in any way. I think anyone that is even in that conversation should be, very thankful and humbled. But at the same time, this season for us is about, our guys in that clubhouse staying together, staying healthy, and trying to hold up the trophy at the end of the year. So the individual stuff, I think even more than normal takes a backseat this year.
Thank you.
Next question is from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Walker, a lot of your teammates had some pretty strong comments about the Astros back in January and February. Will those games, going there to play them next week, carry any more weight, any more importance?
Yeah, I think organizationally that makes sense. I think, the guys that were there and on that team obviously feel even stronger than some of us who weren't there. But, there's some sense of pride and going in there and trying to play good baseball and come out of there with a couple wins. And, I think every game is important, especially in this format. I guess it's 2.5 times as important each game. So, I think every game is huge and those are no different.
Has time taken the edge off of that at all? A lot has happened since February.
It was just swirling around. That's all everyone was talking about, and rightfully so. But, again, I've reiterated every time that you guys have asked me about this. I wasn't on the team, obviously. Watching and now thinking back and, wanting the guys that were there to have experienced that, and obviously our organization wanting to experience holding that trophy. But, at the end of the day, that can't change our mindset or how we look at trying to hold one up this year.
Thanks.
Next question's from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead. Next question's from Pedro Mora. Go ahead, Pedro.
Hey, Walker. I heard you on a podcast a couple weeks back saying that with the new protocols and rules that this season was almost not like playing baseball anymore and more like playing wiffle ball after going through the intra-squads and now these exhibitions. Do you feel any different?
No. What podcast was that?
Theo Vaughn, a comedian that I had never heard of, but you seem to be a big fan of.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Theo. No, I think I don't even really feel like I need to clarify, but it is different. I think the biggest thing that I meant by that is just everything is different. The rules change. It's just not what we're accustomed to, and it feels a little bit like you're in the backyard and are playing by a little different set of rules, and I think that's kind of clear. But at the same time, we're going to have 30 major leaguers facing 30 major leaguers, and I think the best team's going to come out on top. So. Yeah, I think, maybe a little weird thing I said. I didn't really mean anything bad by it.
Got it. Thank you.
Got another question from Alana Rizzo. Go to Alana.
Walker, I didn't get the opportunity to talk to you about this, so I apologize if you've discussed this at length, but just your initial impression of, losing that big left arm and your starting rotation with David opting out, and on the other side, the opportunity for other guys to fill the void as much as they can.
I think the response of everyone around the league has been pretty impressive, towards guys that are opting out. We obviously respect and understand TP's decision, and I don't think that's always the easiest thing, but I think it is the right thing. If he obviously felt that he needed to do that, and we're all going to respect and take that in stride. But I have been pretty, I don't want to say surprised. Surprised is not the right word. I've been kind of proud of how the whole league has responded, and nobody's been critical of those guys, and I don't think they should be. But I am glad that the response has been so positive, and I think we all feel in a positive direction or a positive way about them making that decision.
What about an opportunity for Julio to show what he can do, as well as Ross making the starting rotation?
Yeah, we've talked forever about our team and how deep we are, and Julio's obviously been around here for a long time, as well as Strip, and I think I'm excited. I'm personally excited to watch both those guys. I think everyone in here is, and we've seen what Strip can do, and him making the All-Star team. And what was that? Was that 18? And 18, and then Julio, the flashes before his shoulder thing, and then, even when he's done, I saw his numbers from last year. I didn't realize how good he was last year, and to watch him for even 60 games, I'm pretty excited.
Thank you.
Jorge Castillo, go ahead.
Hey, Walker, just how was it pitching in that atmosphere last week in that scrimmage? No fans, fake noise, all that stuff.
I was just excited to be out there, man. I think pretty normal to kind of spring training or live BP, and that's kind of the point of it. But at the same time, you get to face your buddies and have fun with it that way. So I enjoyed it. Ready to get back out there.
Do you have any trepidation at all about like just jumping into a regular season game without facing another team beforehand, like you usually do?
No, last time I talked to you guys, it's the same thing for me. There's guys on our team that I think probably bring out more in me than almost anybody. So, I'm looking forward to it. And
just one last one. Compared to a few weeks ago when you reported, has your confidence in Major League Baseball being able to pull off the season changed in any way? How the protocols gone? How's this process gone for you?
Yeah, I think we're all kind of adjusted at this point and know what we're expected or what's expected of us and how we got to handle it. I think, the road trip is the one thing that we haven't gotten to practice, but, I know everyone's extremely conscious of what they're doing and where they're going and things like that and trying to minimize the risk not only for ourselves but for everyone around us. So, until there's a reason not to be confident, I think we're going to, play this whole thing out, and I hope we do. But until there's a reason to kind of be concerned, I'm not too worried about it.
Thank you.
The one final question from Michael Duarte. Go ahead, Michael.
Hey, Walker. Hope you're doing well. You admitted that you might be an inning or two behind some of the other guys, so I thought you'd be a good person to ask this question. I was doing a virtual interview with Dr. Eldetrosh last week, and he had some concern with such a shortened ramp-up, potentially arm injuries for some pitchers because the summer camp is only 3 weeks. What have you been told about that, and what particularly preventative measures are you and the other guys doing to make sure that doesn't happen once the season begins and every game counts with such a shortened season?
Yeah, most of our guys came here really ready to go and, far ahead of where they would normally come into a spring training. So, I think the ramp time, you just have to calculate it different and look at it differently than you ever have. Obviously, guys were throwing 3-4 innings when they got here, which is not the case in spring training. So, officially your ramp time or your time in camp is a little bit different, but I just don't see it that way. And, I think for me, it's not that big of a change, even the ramp up that I've had currently. I mean, you can go back to last year, the year before. I haven't thrown a lot of games in the Cactus League. So, I'm not too worried about it. And I know other guys are feeling good and throwing the ball well. And, executing, I think we've seen that the past, couple of weeks. So, I think it's probably less of a concern than you might make it out to be.
Thank you.